blah blah. Ah, it started. Now what do we do?
Oh, we got to talk. Wait, what are we talking about? It is so your turn. I had to introduce last time. I think I lost the rock paper
Oh, the rock. It was a
scissors
rock off. You
ping
did. You
pong
did.
fooey. So like it is so you.
Awesome. Well, welcome to Brothers in Smithing, everybody. Uh, my name is Andrew. The blacksmith, Deer Run Forge here at the Brothers, and we're going to be talking about our little monthly challenges and stuff. But before we do, my little nugget for today. Uh, I'm currently watching the Blue Jays a lot with my family. They just made it they clinched their playoff spot. And my kid is about the same age as I was when they last won the World Series. And I get to see that through him. No, it's good. I get to see that through him. And I'm just like, I'm kind of reliving it. It's cool. It's fun.
You know what I'm laughing about? It's just like the last time the Jays were doing this well was what are you 30 years apart from you and your son?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, the Jays are doing fantastic this year. I'm not really following them, but I keep hearing about it, so that's pretty awesome. And I know you guys are really into baseball, so awesome. Awesome,
Mhm.
awesome, awesome. Well, my name is Kipling, and I am Tapley Tinsmith. I'm the coppersmith slash tinsmith of our metalworking duo. And my nugget, I've just gotten into throwing knives. I know you and I have thrown them in the past, but we would go out once in a while and throw them. I was, if you were listening to the last podcast, if you were one of the 5 people who did, I was just at a PEI and we went to a knife shop and I got some throwing knives as a souvenir. And most mornings after my kids leave on the bus, I go out to the Target and I've been throwing knives, and it's been really fun. I've been learning how to do the no flip, the half flip, and the full flip throw. I land about 50% on a good day, so I'm enjoying that. So yes, I'm throwing knives.
Sweet. That'd be fun.
It is fun.
You
I
have to
quite
show me
enjoy
up
it.
next time I'm there.
I will. I showed you up the last time you were here too. So
So we are brothers by choice, not by birth, but we've known each other for quite some time and compete over everything. We became a blacksmith and a tinsmith quite a while back, and we challenged each other to make a butterfly. That was over 4 years ago. We do this every month, and 2 years ago we started talking about it to have a podcast, and that's what this is. We just challenge each other, have a fun challenge. Um, there's no prize. We don't get anything for this. We don't get any you know, it's literally bragging rights. And because we are competitive by nature, kind of that brotherly back and forth a little bit, and it inspires us to be creative and get better at our crafts. And it's been very good for both of us. So
and now anybody who's actually listening to the podcast, rewind it, play it in slow motion, and you can actually understand what Andrew just said.
I'm a little
You were
wired tonight. I don't know
no,
what's going on.
no, really?
Yeah,
That was like 4 years of our competition all in 10 seconds or less.
it's trying to get to the point.
You had a point?
Yeah, it's fun. Last challenge was our
Our
thermometers.
thermometer. And it was a lot of fun doing the challenge. I really, really enjoyed it. I got smoked.
Yeah,
And it
you went funny and
I know, and every time that I go funny, apparently I'm not that funny, is what I'm discovering. The last time I went funny, you went cute. Yours, ran away with it again as well. Not as badly as this time, I will admit. I still like mine, but it was not appreciated online this time.
Mhm, mhm.
Boo. But that's okay. It gets you back up into the lead, so you now have 23 wins over my 22 wins, and we still have our 4 ties. So,
Nice.
that's good, you know,
Yep.
I like that, but,
And
yeah.
any plans for your thermometer? You gonna do anything new or change or
Yes, when we do a market in, well, after when this posted about a week after this posts, we're gonna put it live on the table, and I'm gonna have my thermometer whoop your thermometer's butt.
You want redemption live.
I'm hoping mine does better in person than it does online.
But retroactively, like, you're not getting more points for this. It's not like a
No,
holdover or
no,
anything.
no,
Okay.
no, no,
Okay.
no, no.
Just
The win cannot. Although that would be hilarious if I got more votes and sold mine. That would be the 2 points and reverse the whole. You know that would
that's
be
what I'm just
awesome.
checking. I'm
No, no,
just checking
no,
whether
no,
you can
no, no.
come from behind her or something
I don't know. That would be a. We would have to discuss it after it happened to see how we were,
after it happens.
or before it happens. Who knows?
I think we
This would
discussed
be
it
the first
beforehand.
time we've done this
Yeah.
that way. So, because this current challenge, which we would normally put on the table, is actually a gift for my sister. So we normally put it on the table and then it's to be sold. I'm not doing it this year or for this challenge. So that's why we are going to use that thermometer challenge.
Hmm. So this, as I understand it, your sister's cottage has, they've been kind of updating and renovating it since they've kind of had it, and it actually started. Our second challenge was a challenge for one of the rooms, and then every year we've done this, we've kind of done another room. So we've done heron, if I'm just remembering right. We've done heron, chipmunk.
Sorry, I peck your pardon.
What was there? A
I peck your
woodpecker?
pardon. I peck your pardon. No, no, no. Two can play at this. Two can play at this game.
When you have to
What
spell
the
them out, I
fuck?
don't know. Yeah, I
I
don't
know.
know. Yeah. And
Yes,
this one is for a loon room, I understand.
it is for a loon room, and we decided that because we've done um, closet door and cupboard pulls, and we've done a light switch cover. It's a mirror that's going to go on the wall. It doesn't have to be like something that you're going to, look at and do your hair on, but it has to have a mirror aspect in it, and it has to have a loon theme because it's
Hmm.
going in the loon room.
Do you want to talk about yours first?
Sure, the one that's not done. So
Very
mine
nearly.
is
Very nearly.
not finished at all. Uh, it's been interesting. I've been procrastinating a little bit. I like my idea. I think it's actually really enjoying, but I've been having a hard time getting going on it. Just like starting. There's been a bunch of little things. School started this month. The kids, we, for whatever reason, we schedule all of their dentists and doctor appointments and haircuts and that in the month of September after we get off the summer. So a lot of that, and I just haven't been sitting down to get the work done. It's not a big project. I think like if I add up all the time it's going to take me, I think 3 days, not solid days, but a couple hours every day, and I'll be done. So I'm behind, but I'm really liking it. So what I've done is I have a rectangular mirror and I'm overlaying it with copper, and then I'm chasing out a loon, which is done, and a little island to make it a little sort of lake scene. And then I'm turning the bottom half into waves with cut throughs. So you will see the mirror behind the waves, and then the sky is just going to be a solid mirror, and it's got a bit of a perspective to it. So I'm looking forward to it, and it's
And
mostly done.
how do how when you're cutting through your copper to make these waves, because I can imagine that's like a pain to do a curved line. What what's your tool of choice to make those, like, 'cause you can't really use snips. Dremel, I would imagine you're gonna leave marks using like a cold
Dremel,
chisel.
I've tried Dremel in the past. It's too easy for it to skitter and
Yeah.
mar the stuff. So my first idea was, and the easiest way to do sort of contour lines is with a jeweler saw or a coping saw.
Mm.
But the problem is this piece is bigger than I normally work,
Mm.
and the arch on my coping saw is not big enough to do the whole thing. So I started doing some of it with the saw because that's the easiest way to get the detail, but it wasn't going to work. So now I'm like, all right, now what do? I don't want to and bring that adrenaline. So I punched some big holes in the areas that I know were getting cut out, and I have nibbler snips. And your
Nibbler snips. Say it
nibbler
again.
snips. Well,
Nibbler
nibbler
snips.
snips. Well, you have a nibbler tool. You
Yeah.
have an electric nibbler tool,
Yeah.
which you love. Now, mine's just manual, and so it's got this little square that you can once you put a hole in it, you can punch it up, and then it bites out this little miniature rectangle. I have a Tupperware container full of miniature rectangles right now as you but you can curve it, and you can't get into the point, but then I'm at that's the stage I'm at right now, as I've got to file into the points to file that off. Um, yeah, so it's been some work, but it wasn't too bad. It's just bigger. And the other issue I had because it's bigger, doing the chasing, I have a small pitch bowl. It's mostly used for like jewelry stuff or what most people use. I don't use it for jewelry, but most of my chasing fits into that. And then I made a slightly larger tray that I filled with pitch that came from an old toaster oven. And both of those are too small. So I had to figure out what to do. But this is going to jump to a quick mention on one of the Instagram feeds that I do follow. JS Copper, I think you follow them to a certain extent as well. And I pick up a lot of tricks watching him do all of his work. I love it. But what I've noticed on him is he's got just a piece of plywood, and he will fill after he's raised whatever he's doing. He'll backfill the cavity and put it down on just a piece of wood and nail it there, and that works. And so I did that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. However, I didn't. It moves differently when I do that because there's less pitch to move around and play. So it's a harder surface to work with. But yeah, yeah. So there's been some definitely interesting learning things. I've been enjoying it. Um, and I hope it's gonna turn out well. By the time we post, it will be done, and I'll let you know if I'm happy with it or not.
I imagine that, so chasing is basically taking the flat sheet of copper and hammering it from the back to raise a piece out, like 3D out from the front. Is that
Uh,
Cole's notes?
that would be the repousse
Right.
part. So it's chasing and repousse. So I'm repoussing it out, or bubbling it out. Or at least that's I think what they mean by the repousse. I'm not, I'm not classically trained or trained in any way, shape, or form. I'm making stuff up as I go along. And then the chasing would be putting the detail back in. So you
Pushing
fill
it back.
the
Yeah.
cavity with pitch, which is a sort of a thick, like slightly malleable solid,
Wax
think
resin type
clay,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
wax, clay, stuff like that. And then because you're filling the end, I can control what I'm pushing back in, with the chasing to put the pattern in, and to design it. So
Cool. So once that's done, though, because you have to do all of that before you did any of your cutting, because that does shift the copper and stuff around it. So if you did your square lines before it and then you repousse it and chase things, it would make that a wavy line. So you got to do that first. Is there
yeah,
added stress to, like, for me, I'm thinking about it. I hate those things where you're like, I have to do something big before I do the small thing, and the small thing could just batty fang the whole thing.
absolutely. Again, nice use of the body fang. And yeah, you do all this work that you have to do first, and like it takes a lot of effort, and then you can mess up with a little thing later on. The other thing I because you measure out your piece of copper. I'm like, you do this is the and I do I've gotten better at leaving myself some spare, like making the square I'm cutting it a little bit bigger than I need, because when you the repousse, when you push up that bubble that you're going to chase, the sides now start because that's where you're taking the material from. It's stretching it up, but it's pulling in, so it's no longer square again. So you need to be able to re-square it. But the other thing I'm finding, and for me, this is just me, I don't trust myself as an artist. Like So I think that was also part of why I've been procrastinating so much on this one is there's artistic stuff and I'm always happy with how it turns out, but I'm never confident at the beginning saying, "Yeah, yeah, I can draw the yeah, yeah. I can make the island and I can make some nice windswept pines. Yeah, yeah, I can do that. No worries." I'm like every time I'm like, "Oh,
It's funny because to start this one, like early September, you messaged me and were like, "I got my mirror," and I was like, "Dang it, I
yeah,
got to go get mine," because really the whole thing is based off of like the size of the loon is really based off of the size of the mirror.
yeah,
Like, uh, like what's the like? I really had no design or thoughts and stuff in mind when I started, and then it was like, well, how am I going to do this? My only thought for me was if I used black steel, I could make it shiny and have two tones in my loon. And I was like, but that's going to take hours, like a ridiculous amount of time. And again, if you're going to have to do with a Dremel, and if you muff one up, it's the whole thing's toast. You have to redo it. So I was like, and actually why I did not end up doing that with my loon, because my piece of steel, I took a piece of steel, the same cut off of what I cut my loon out of, and cleaned it and degreased it and then tried to blue it. So there's a metal bluing agent that basically you can control the oxidate. I think it's oxidizing it, I think is what it is. Like the
okay,
rusting it. And then
yeah,
when
yeah,
you oil it, it sort of locks that oil to the surface and it protects it. It's used generally for guns. It's what the barrels are all. They're generally blue. They're not black, which is this really really dark uh, chemical change to or oxidization of the barrels. Um, but I couldn't like I'm showing it to Kipling on the TV or on the video, but like it's still very shiny. Like
yeah,
um and I was like, I don't like it. And then the other side still has the mill scale on it, and I was like, I like that better. um and I've never been able to control the scale enough in a forge to just completely blacken something.
yeah.
Um
There's always bits that stay
Pockets and
shiny.
bits
Yeah,
and
yeah,
something falls off and whatever. So I've never like you can kind of do it with a wet oily rag and it turns black a bit, but I've never been able to control that color, which is one of the things I'm jealous of you and your patina on the copper and stuff. You can get colors and
you can
you
play
have
around with some
blues
stuff. Yeah,
and you're darken it and lighten it and stuff. So anyway, I tried playing with that. It didn't work out. But when I was looking for a mirror, to go back to my original story, I was looking for a mirror, and rectangles, and there was like the window pane mirrors. I was just looking in a secondhand store, and they had a really cool circular one, and I was gonna buy it. I really was. And then I was like, oh, imagine like a loon in the middle with like waves, and I was like, it's a friggin' loony. Our dollar coin in
yeah.
Canada is a gold coin with a loon in the middle of it, circle coin. I'm like, if I put a loon in the middle of a circle, it's a dang loony the whole time. Like nobody is not going to see that. And I'm glad I saw that before I bought the mirror. So I ended up going with a slightly bigger oval mirror. It's probably mine is probably about a foot and a half. The long side of the oval. It's a pretty big mirror. Um, and then my problem was what I wanted to do is play with the mirror feature of it and have some of my work be in front of other pieces of it. Um, to do that, I had to make a frame for it. And to make now I have an oval mirror that I'm very proud of, and I need to make an oval frame. If it was rectangle, I'm pretty sure, my basic rudimentary carpentry skills can get a square rectangle mirror or frame built. I've
But now you've
I've
got to make a circular one,
now I have to make an oval
or
one.
sorry, an oval one,
Yeah,
because it's not a loony. It's a loony that you've put on a train track that's been run over now.
that's right. Yeah, or
Yeah,
the ones at the zoo, you
the
crank
the
the coin and it,
the crack
yeah,
thingy.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So yeah, so I had, and what I was able to do it. I used MDF, which is like a composite material, and I actually used a router and like did the whole, like I got pretty fancy on this. My front yard, I don't know if you ever sanded MDF, it is a friggin' nightmare. So once I got the
No.
mirror, sanded the mirror, painted the mirror, I was like, I'm done. I've done all of the work. I'm just like so tired because trying to make this dang. So now I have an oval mirror with a standoff, probably about 3 inches tall off the front of it. And then I forged some waves, glued
I was
those
gonna
to the
say,
front
and
of it.
there's no metal on this whatsoever. We got a mirror
Yeah, yeah,
piece of
yeah, yeah. So
wood.
there's I actually forged metal in the front of it, and they're on the front edge of the frame, so you can see the reflection of them behind it, depending
A
on the
bit of
angle,
depth
which is,
going.
yeah, which is pretty cool. And then the loon itself is actually glued right to the mirror. And again, I was going to try to do different finishes and everything on him. To do the different finishes, I ended up uh, sanding him and actually buffing him or polishing him so he was shiny. And the steel, the contrast between the shiny and the steel and the shiny of the mirror was so good that I couldn't bring myself to like do anything. So they're both shiny, but they're not like ugly beside each other. I don't know. Um, it's enough. I'm really digging the piece. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah, out of curiosity, because traditionally you make like at least 2, 3 pieces of each one. How many loons do you have? Do you just have the one?
Okay. I just have one loon, but yeah, you knew there was a but. When we set out these challenges, we set them out at the beginning of the year. So and I normally go at least to my dad's shop at least once, twice a year, and he has a plasma cutter, so I cut stuff out. So I knew we had a loon thing coming up, so I cut out loon hooks. So I plasma cut out a loon and then put a hook underneath it. And the funny thing is, um, in all of this mirror stuff, I bought smaller mirrors and I was like, can I mount this on the mirror and just have it like as a key thing in your front of your door? And anyway, I'm still playing with these. So I have loon hooks as well, um, of which I might donate one of those to your sister's cottage. So that, yeah.
Yeah, a couple little loon hooks there would be nice, just or like behind the door.
Hmm.
Ooh, yeah, that would
So
be nice.
I made multiple mirror things. I only made one loon and these loon hooks. So
Yeah, all right. Excellent. So, are you happy with the final look on the whole thing?
I am. My biggest issue is I have $10 in the mirror. I have $30 in the frame material and sandpaper and spray paint and filler and all this
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
All the other stuff. I have another $5-6 for the specialty glue to glue the metal to the glass.
Glue did you use?
PL. I don't know. Some fancy. It's around here somewhere. Now you got me looking. Um.
Is there's specific mirror to metal glue?
No, yes and no. This best stuff I found, it's called E6000. Uh, yeah, and in stores, and when we were trying to find stuff to glue teapots together for another project randomly, this stuff will hold ceramic to ceramic like and hold it through weather and stuff like that. So I was like, well, if it'll hold that, it'll hold the smooth surface of metal to smooth settle of.
Nice. So ideally, the loon doesn't fall off.
So ideally the loon doesn't fall
Randomly.
off, but I have at least $55 in cost in it.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, which is like, ooh. So then, plus the time and all those things. So now it's like this thing has got to be, and as I was making it, I'm like, this thing's got to be $100 plus to sell it if I'm going to sell it. Um, and I feel an added pressure to that. I love creating something and then being like, ooh, this is a good one, and I'm just going to charge more because I'm putting more time in and I love it. But this one, it feels like, no, it has to be $100 plus because I've put this much money into it for me to actually sell it. And I always have that doubt where I'm like, if I finish this now, is it worth $100+? And that's where my self-doubt comes in, is like, would someone pay? And it wasn't until I put it all together and stood back and looked at it and was like, nah, dang, that's Like,
It's a beautiful piece, like, and it's good wall decor, like, so you're gonna bring it to the market to sell it?
I am scared, so scared of this mirror, um, because I don't think I could find another mirror in an oval form, right? So it's not a thick mirror. It's not a high class mirror. It was just an IKEA, secondhand mirror sort of thing. It had another ugly frame around it. And if I broke it, I don't think that I could find another mirror. Like, it's not just like go, yeah. And that's going to push the cost again. So I'm like, if I break it, it's pretty much done.
Yeah, but that's
Um,
not no, that's not pushing the cost, that was your own idiocy.
yeah, yeah.
You can't foist that off on the customer.
Oh, I can
I was
try.
an idiot and broke the
Yeah.
one.
So I don't believe I'm going to be bringing it to this market. I already have enough stuff on the table and everything, but I do hope to bring it to a couple other markets going forward this season. So
Yeah, just lots of cotton batting and, wrap it up.
I'll have the aluminum case with the like memory foam around it, and
What bird can do more than a loon?
no idea.
Pelican. Pelican?
A pelican. Oh. My mom always had a little. I was trying to come up with it because my mom had a little rhyme with a pelican. He can hold more in his beak than his belly can. I was like,
Well,
yeah. Anyway, so this is really, we've made these two things. Yours is definitely going to a cottage. Mine has that cottagey feel to it. It's been a while since we've talked soundtrack music, and I'm going to steal one first
oh,
because,
okay, alright.
yeah, I'm going to steal one first. One, it's my soundtrack at work because it's the CD that plays in the van all the time.
You
But
you don't work at a cottage, though, it doesn't count.
no, I work in a provincial park though. But this song, uh, by the Tragically Hip Wheat Kings, starts with the quintessential loon,
Mhm.
and like just that Wheat King song in the background. Oh, so good,
I'm pretty
so good.
thin.
Campfire. You could eat a couple s'mores to that song.
Yeah, no, that's fair, yeah, that's a good one. I agree, and it's got Canadiana, you know aren't they
Yep.
even from Kingston, your hometown?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I think, yeah, you have no choice but to be a Tragically Hip fan. Yeah, cottage music to me is usually 80s, late 80s, early 90s, because that's kinda my teenage years, that's just what it is. Um, or also just what we're listening to at that time. The first thing that jumped to my mind is actually a little bit older, Brown Eyed Girl.
Ooh, Van Morrison.
Van Morrison,
Yeah.
you
But
know?
again, that sing along, like I'm gonna pull out a guitar and I'm gonna play Brown Eyed Girl. Mm-hmm. You know what song I actually thought you were gonna go for? I thought you were gonna be like, I don't know, like Chumbawamba Tub Thumping or something.
Fair enough. That is really 90s, absolutely. Um, although speaking about what you're drinking, Chumbawamba,
Oh,
what is your libation today? We haven't
uh,
talked about our
we
I'm
have
assuming
not.
you have a libation.
I do have a libation. I walked into the LCBO the other day, not really knowing what I was gonna get, and the lady was like, "Would you like to
I
try
was gonna
some?"
say alcohol. If you're going into the
Yeah.
LCBO, it's going to be alcohol. If you expect to buy a cat, you've gone into the wrong place.
Okay. Yes. There's another whole aside that I don't think we need to get to why I was at the LCBO. Beside the point. I was looking for a specific bottle for a Halloween display. Let's
Ah,
just put it
okay.
that way. Okay. So, not sure what the bottle was going to be from. Walked in, the lady said, "Would you like to try a whiskey?" And I was like, maybe. And she goes, it's Kiefer Sutherland's whiskey." And I was like, "That doesn't sell it to me." But and she's like, "It's made in Nova Scotia." I'm like, "You had me at Canada." Um, so I, try another Canadian whiskey, and I never have great hopes for a celebrity endorsed whiskey or anything like that. It's called Red Bank. It's called Red Bank from Nova Scotia, and actually a very nice, not too sweet, not too sharp whiskey that I've very much been enjoying since I've gotten some. So
And you can, reminisce to Flatliners and, oh, William H. Bonney, "You Are Not a God." Yeah, very nice. I'm still on the beer. I'm still drinking from, Big Axe Brewery.
nice. Still your East
This
Coast
one's
trip? Yep.
yeah, from the East Coast trip. Again, New Brunswick, Nagawick is where the brewery is. And this one is a purple maize hybrid pilsner, which is quite the mouthful to say. But I was reading the can. I have to read this to you. This beer is based on the popular Peruvian drink Chica Morada, which I have never had, although I'm kind of curious to try to find that one now. And it is brewed with organic purple corn from Peru, cinnamon, cloves, pineapple, and lemon. Can't say as I'm tasting the pineapple at all. And I'm not sure I can taste the difference between purple corn versus yellow corn or red corn, but not bad.
Hmm,
But I
interesting.
want to know what a chicha morada, and I'm probably saying that wrong, so I
Is
apologize.
is the beer purple?
It's in a can.
Hang on. Do the thing where you lift it at
There we
I'll
go.
look. I'll look. I can't tell from here. A little ASMR for people though.
I am going to guess that the beer is probably beer color.
The can is purple anyway.
The can is purple and it's got a big axe on it because, of course, it's Big Axe Brewery. It also has a little ear of corn on it too.
Sweet.
But sweet, sweet, sweet. Yeah. So, okay, jumping back to what we really do on this podcast, we are going to post for our loon mirrors on Monday, September 29th.
Yes.
So do
So
go on to our Instagrams, check out Tapley Tinsmith, Deer Run Forge, and most importantly, Brothers in Smithing. And you can see both images. You can vote on the stories or in the comments. And as we hope you do check it out and just vote whether, whichever one you like. We are just wanting votes. We don't really, it's not really about who's winning. It's more about, because we're always happy with what we do, right? It's more about getting people to interact with us and that kind of stuff. It's fun.
it's more enjoyable if more people vote.
Yeah.
I mean it's more enjoyable when it's closer. And it's not like
Yes.
we've had some of these that's a runaway, and you can almost tell as soon as we post it, the first few votes are all one-sided, and you're like, eh. And I don't even look at it that much because it's like, yeah, this one's a runaway, and I don't really. It's not as fun. It's definitely
Yeah.
fun when they're
It's not worth, yeah, like,
yeah,
I gotta check, I gotta check every, like, oh, did I get another vote? Oh, you got to vote. Oh, how dare that person vote for you?
yeah.
Yeah. No, that's the fun stuff. No. So it's
So
nice to have the
so more
interactions
more
too.
votes, more better. If we're
More
with what
votes,
we're
more
getting to
better.
here, and it
And again,
encourages to do it again. So yeah.
and just tap on one. I always get slightly disappointed. I'm like, hey, this person watched the story, but they didn't vote. Why not?
You're gonna start getting private DMs from Kipling being like, "I know you saw it. Why didn't you tap it? Tap the button." Yeah, and we've been doing it long enough that our mums who are new to Instagram have figured out how to push the button. So if our
Yes.
mothers, and
Mhm.
we're not young chickens ourselves, our mothers are, if they can figure it out, pretty sure you can figure it out too. Anyway,
But yes, so September 29th, go online, vote, please. Vote for me.
or after you can look at them too. Comment.
Yeah. You can comment. But yeah, you can go on Deer Run Forge, vote for me. Go on Brothers Smithing, vote for me. Go on Tapley Tinsmith, vote for me. Because I am now losing. All right. It's 23 wins to 22 for you.
I like how you always try to get the pity vote. Like
Oh, always.
it's like just give me the one extra pity
This is
vote.
the only way the villain gets ahead in the game. Come on.
If you just made better stuff, you could just hilarious.
See, you're
Uh
just trying to catch up to my streak. See, I just finished off on a streak of 3. This is you now got 2 in a row. You're trying to get a tying streak of 3. I'm trying to, prevent that. Scupper your streak. No
Yep.
streaking on the podcast.
No streaking on the pod. No one would ever know. This isn't a video podcast. Do you want to do an eggle or an ask?
Well, I think we did the eggel first last time, so let's do an ask, and then we will.
Okay, so this is kind of related to our challenges and everything like that. But my question, my Andrew's ask for today is, where do you get your inspiration for these challenges from? So like, what do you look at? Where does it come from? Is it like, I know you do like generally there's been a couple podcasts where you're like, I had to drive for 4 hours and I did nothing for 4 hours and I basically designed it in my head. Like, where does it where do you start? Where does it come from? Like, where's the inspiration come from to do the thing?
Okay, before I answer, I gotta say because no one else saw this because it's a podcast. Andrew gets this fancy book out like he's a professor. Okay, what is the Andrew asks for today? You would have had your little pen out. You're like, do 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 do. Hilarious. I'm like, wow, I'm in school. Oh, I got a check mark. Yay. Um, most of my inspiration comes from driving. Whether I'm driving the kids to activities, whether I'm driving up to the cottage, whether usually the longer drives because I do at least you know 3 or 4 in a month. And yeah, I zone out while driving, and the brain spins in that.
So
And
it's just letting
then
your mind wander, like your
for the
mind just
most part,
wanders.
and it triggers on things I've seen or heard or read about. Um, Even this one that I haven't finished yet. When I first came up with the idea, it was the idea of how the water is going to look different from the sky. I had an idea in my head, and then after I start laying it down, before I move to that next step, I'm looking at it because my insecurity goes, that's gonna look like up dog. So what can I do differently? And then again, I'm spinning in. I was driving around this morning, going to get some groceries, and I'm like, oh, how about I could do cross hatching? Oh no, I could maybe do a little wave and it spins and spins. And again, I think I'm pulling from things I've seen, but that's where the magic happens, is inside my head.
Hmm. Hmm. Interesting. I it's funny because I had this question and I was wondering, because we kind of talk about it, but then I was like, I really haven't answered it myself.
Yeah, like where does it come from? And I suspect like there's so many subtle influences that you pick up everywhere from anything, and
Yeah.
then that's what is percolating. So I'm sure I am influenced by everything I'm seeing and hearing. And the more we do this, the more I notice more art. Not that I didn't notice art before, but I look at art differently. I look at how, oh, I can, that's how they put the texture, and that's how they're doing the shading of the perspective, which never taking any art classes whatever whatsoever. I didn't even take them in high school. I don't have that, or I don't have the training there, so I'm noticing that more, and that'll get thrown into the inspiration. you know
I I like how you were saying like you take inspiration from all the little things, because thinking about the mirrors, while I was looking for mirrors in the secondhand shop, somebody had like the really fabricated metal scrolling and it was just mounted in front of a mirror. And I didn't realize this until you were just talking about this, that like that idea of having the metal in front of the mirror where you can actually see the back of it and
the front and
reflecting.
the back of the
I
metal.
I really think that that's where I was like, hey, that's a cool concept, but I didn't really be like, that's what I'm going to do when I saw it. It was just a cool concept that you kind of in the back of your
Yeah,
brain, and then it
like,
was like, yeah,
hey, I like that. And actually this one, I can trace this one back, um, from the PEI trip. A lot of stuff is going to be trip. When we were actually at a PEI, we went to Nova Scotia. We stayed at a good friend of my wife's, at her place, and in their little water closet downstairs, they had a mirror that had some copper. patterning on top of it with some cut throughs and stuff like that. And I think that's where it started. Now, okay, now what can I do with that? And yeah, no, and it's all yeah, it's amazing where
And
you pick it up.
do you take pictures of that stuff that you're like, "Ooh, that's cool," or do you?
Sometimes I have a lot of pictures on my phone I've never looked at from taking pictures of things like, ooh, I could do something like that.
That's what I
Um,
find is, if I take a picture of it, I forget to look, like, I'm not scrolling through my old photos to find inspiration, so
but I think it marks it in your brain somehow that, oh yeah, I took a photo of this and I kind of remember the concept. And I think it's personally, I think it's better that way. I'm not looking at the image saying, "Oh, yeah, this is what I wanna do." I'm like, "Oh, no, I saw this, and I remember this aspect of it, and this feature. Okay, I wanna kinda put those in," but so you're getting more of it's more less plagiarism, not that we plagiarize anything, but more inspired to do something esque like it.
do you keep a notebook at all? Like, do you have, like, you don't do many sketches or anything?
Sometimes it depends. I actually do I made sketches halfway through this. I know. So I sketched out a loon body, just okay, this is what it looks like, to get the proportions right. So I did sketch that out, and then after I had chased that in, and I freehand the tree and the island, and then I was looking at, and again, I was really struggling on how to differentiate the water from the sky. And so I did a very rough, ugly sketch of the loon and the island, and I drew in some water. And then I photocopied that. And I'm like, okay, if I put my water like this, do I like that? How about if I put water like this? Oh, ooh, ooh. And then about the third one, you're like, no, this is, oh, yeah, I like this. We'll see how it turns out. It might. But yeah, so there was definitely some sketching in this one. And it depends on what I'm doing.
Hmm, cool.
I
I do
do.
have a
Sorry.
sketchbook that, like, I have these ideas that I thought of, recently after the Cheshire Cat thing and the mirror stuff that we're doing. I combined the 2 to have the smile of the Cheshire Cat in his ears, because I really did mess up his nose and his eyes and stuff on that one, but I still had a smile. And I glued it on a mirror, and I was like, "That's really cool." And then I had the idea of, like, "Ooh, you could do the top hat on one, you could do bunny ears and a pocket watch, you could do you could have a whole theme of these mirrors for Alice in Wonderland, or a number of other things, Charlie Chaplin, and
Yeah.
imagine these little mirrors that have, like, a famous person's features, that when you look through it, that hat is on your head, or
And
so I was like, "Ooh, ooh." So I drew, like, a whole page of mirrors, and of these little things, and it was like, this one and this one and this one and this one. So I don't know if I'll ever do them, but they're at least.
but it's a good way to get them down, and you can always flip back through them. Like, that'd be a good thing for me to do, but I don't.
Hmm,
I
cool.
freehand more things than I really probably should.
Like, right onto your metal, like, you just freehand the loon on it.
I will put, um, the outlines. So, like, when I'm doing a chasing like that, I anneal the metal, or soften it, and then I will draw on the outline in the reverse of what I want it to be, because I have to push out that bubble from the back. So I try to push out the bubble as close to the form that I want. So like I essentially drew the loon facing to the left. To the left? Yeah, to the left. This is my left hand. I don't know my left and right. And then so I pushed that out. So that was my bubble. And then I flipped it over, and then I can chase it back into the shape. And again, so now I've got that basic outline. I might put an outline on there, but all the detail that goes on top of it, yeah, that's a lot of freehand stuff going. Yeah, okay, this is where if there's a specific line that I need, like for the loon in this case, the breast of the loon is white, and I wanted to define that one out, and I wanted the right curve to that, so I had a Sharpie and I threw that on, and my first chasing, I followed that, and then I, you know, go on from there. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Cool.
So it might be better if I did more drawing out first, but meh. So yeah, that's a good question. I like that question. All right, now for something completely irrelevant because I tend to be the irrelevant of the two of us. Our esoteric eggel for tonight. What is your favorite reality TV show? Now, this isn't
Fa-
coming out of the blue. I will answer it first just because. Um, so I think I was telling you, my answer is currently Amazing Race Canada. And the reason is my wife's cousin was just on this season, and I got to watch Jonathan Braun go through all of the challenges, and they actually won the end.
oh
Spoiler
yeah.
alert. Yeah, yeah, he won the whole
Wow.
thing. He and his partner Jesse. Um, it was fantastic. And actually, what was really amusing to me was so the actual episode on whatever channel it come out would come out on Tuesday. That's when they had all the viewing parties, but it doesn't come out on Crave until Wednesday. And well, not by accident, I went onto Instagram on Wednesday morning before I got a chance to see it. First thing on my Instagram page, it was a picture of Jonathan Jesse jumping up and win. So I knew they had won before I watched it. It was still a nail biter. I was still like I know what's happening. Why am I getting stressed? And my kids were just through the roof. Like my daughter was like vibrating with excitement as things were going on. So yeah, a little bit biased right now. But really enjoyed like even not having family on it. It was really cool to watch. I enjoyed it. So yeah,
Cool. Cool. There's time. Well, we watch a lot of baseball. I don't know. Is it not reality
that's not
TV? But
reality TV.
okay.
That's sports.
What about? Okay, so we
Unless you're
do.
watching like hockey skaters on ice doing the figure skating,
Uh,
like that would be reality TV.
um, at this point right now, there's a new season of Somebody Feed Phil. Have you seen this?
No.
So Phil Rosenhall, whatever. He's one of the producers from Everybody Loves Raymond. He's kind of funny, um, but he travels to all the different places and tries to look at the place from perspective of food.
Okay.
And as he's done it, he's gotten better at focusing. Like at first, he's focusing on food, and I mean, food is food, and everybody loves food. But like we just watched an episode on Georgia, and
The
I
state
wouldn't
or the country?
the country.
Okay.
Yeah, again, I would not have even been able to like pick out that like maybe told you that Georgia was a country that maybe it was in this area and like there's been issues, but like again for him to like look at the country from because the food is influenced by the people who come into it and like all of these different things and the cultures that have come and conquered and left and all these different things, and a country like Georgia uh is had so much conflict in the past and there's so many different uh, cultural identities that are left there, sort of thing. Anyway, just to look at it from that, and then like it is about the food, but he looks at it from the perspective of the people, and like I honestly, there's been a couple places he's gone, and Georgia being one of them, that I'm like, if I had a guide, I would like I would go there. That looks really friggin'
Cool.
cool. Like and
Yeah.
like I hate like I'm not a traveler. I don't want to
No.
travel. I don't want to see like
Well,
I have no
you
interest.
like going new. Sorry, you like being in a new place. You don't like the aspect of actually getting there.
Yeah, and I don't like the like stress of like not knowing how to get to the hotel and the language and like that's just
Yeah.
if I had a
You
and I
like the
wouldn't go to
experience, not
Georgia.
the actual travel.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like again, but he actually uh, and the joy he gets from the food and the joy he gets from the people that produce the food, like he actually genuinely like through language barriers and stuff, like you can see that there's a connection between them just because of his uh, uh, emotional reaction to the food,
Okay. Cool.
and like because of that, it's it's actually kind of it has turned into more of a emotional show.
Okay,
I guess.
it's somebody feed
Somebody
Phil. Is that what?
feed Phil.
Okay,
Yeah.
I might have to look that one up.
I suggest the later seasons he got better as he went, but
Good to know. Watch the Georgia episode. Got it.
watch the Georgia episode. We actually one of the things we were at the LCBO bought Georgian wine because why not? Try some Georgian wine.
Sounds great.
Yep. So we got this challenge here coming up the end of September 29th posting. And then next month is a preview, will be October.
And we're into Halloween.
We're into the Hallows Eve. And so we thought we'd do something somewhat appropriate. So we're going to do something bat related.
The much maligned bat.
One of my favorite creatures, just
it is, but it gets a bad rap. But
totally gets a bad rap.
So we're doing a bat.
Yeah. And we didn't really have a thought. We just kind of put it in the calendar as a bat. But we do like kind of challenging ourselves a little bit and putting some criteria on it. So we decided that this bat has to have a hinge of some sort, or be hinged. So it has a movable piece and is a decoration piece and probably decoration for Halloween, right?
I like it. Yes, a Halloween decoration, a bat, and it has to have at least a hinge on it. Which,
At least
of
one
course,
hinge.
yeah, at least one hinge.
Could have more.
Obvious spot is on the wings, right?
Fully articulated wings. Yeah. Both of us just picked up our arms and yeah, okay.
Yeah. You could hinge the jaw so the mouth opens and closes.
I suppose. Yeah.
There's some things you can do. It doesn't have to be the wings, but there's that. It's definitely the obvious choice. And depending on how yeah, depending on how busy this month becomes with everything else, we'll see how obvious choice I go or go, try to find something a bit more esoteric.
Mm-hmm. Okay, just random thought. Side profile of a bat, wings up so it's flying, mouth is open so it's like a Pac-Man, and then somehow you create a little loop of bugs as it goes around as a light, and it's like
See, personally, I was thinking of George Bell standing there just sort of waving it in the air.
Reaching way back in some Blue Jays history on that one.
Well, wasn't that he was part of the team that you were watching when you were your son's age watching it? Yeah. No, baseball versions of
no,
bats?
it was good. I at least immediately got that one. It was good.
You did. I would have been disappointed if you hadn't. I really would have. Like, I could have picked a few more, but George Bell was he was the home run hitter there, and
that won the series. That was Joe Carter.
No, but George Bell was on because they did it 2 years. George Bell was on the team the first year. I don't
might have been, but Joe Carter was the one that hit the game winning home. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I wasn't talking about the game, but George Bell was always one of the big hitters.
Yeah,
he was. At least that's what I remember. I'm no baseball expert, but yeah, at all. It's baseball.
So, be sure to check us out on our Instagrams. If you do miss it and things, then if you just follow along with Brothers in Smithing, you'll get to see we try to post things about these challenges as we create them and as we go throughout the month, and kind of keeps you up to date with all the stuff and when the podcasts come out and everything. So follow along on Instagram, Brothers in Smithing, or either of our singular ones there as well. And you can always vote for the best one, which will clearly be mine this month. Mine.
Absolutely mine.
No.
And just as a quick, I think if you happen to be in around the Burlington area on the weekend of the 4th, 5th of October.
Just the 4th.
Just the 4th.
Yes.
There's a market in Burlington, Ronnie Creek Provincial Park, that we are both going to be at, and we'll actually have our thermometer challenge up there for live voting for people to check it out until, of course, mine sells, and then we'll put something else up instead. Um, but yeah,
Yes,
this is another shout out for one of the first market that we're doing in the fall season here. So,
for
but
sure.
yeah, well, that was fun, sir, and we will talk to you in a bit.
Good
All
luck
right.
on this one. See you next. Hang on, I gotta find my mouse. Okay.
I turn off the off button. Where's the
See
off
ya.
button? Uh,